So we're gonna jump right into this video on this plasma table. If you stick around till the end, I will answer some questions. It's a pretty drawn out video, lots of talking and explaining, but I'm hoping that for the beginner, that this video will kind of show you the plasma table and show you kind of what you could do and what you probably are capable of. So stay tuned and we're gonna breeze right through this bad boy.
We also got to learn if we have too much.
Put sunglasses on.
Yeah.
All right, so that is the first cut. We got a couple things to figure out. That edge right there is not perfect. The holes in it are not 100% perfect, but we can run a drill bit through them. It's still 100 times better than anything I can make from hand. So this is gonna be our AC bracket, but that's the first actual cut of a bracket that I designed on this table. All right, so I mocked it up, sat our first bracket there. And that's what it looks like. That is, dude, man, it is nice to have a plasma cutter.
Okay, watch this. I'll show you. That's where it's going to start. Okay, the reason it shows this, that way you can see which fuel.
Okay, so hold on. So if it shows us the frame like that, it traces around your template, then we don't have to do the simulate cut to figure out where we're at. We can skip doing that. Okay, so how do we do the frame? You gotta hit escape. It's not right.
Okay, you go down to F7 manual move.
Yep.
And then it says frame.
Okay, so F7 again.
And then it's going to show you the
perfect. So that's
amount
all.
of metal it needs. Yeah, just want to make sure it's still at street. And then go to T1. Now, do we want to keep this at 40 or do we want to cut it down a little bit?
That was the amps?
Yeah.
Try cutting it down a little. Let's try like 38 or 37. We'll just slowly bump it down and see. So what?
That one guy on that thing, he says he keeps it at 40 all the time, but I don't think it has to be that.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of people said to keep it at 40. So the only thing we have changed is we have changed our cut speed to 35 and we changed our amperage on this bracket. We're dropping it down to 37. So that's it, right?
Okay. Yeah, now you want to start, you tell me what we're going to do.
Dad did all this stuff. So let's see here to start. I don't freaking know.
You're in demo. It won't cut.
Yeah, how do we get out of demo mode?
Okay, demo mode, we want to go. And you already did the...
oh, you were going to push the G thing.
We did the F6.
Yeah, we're good on that.
So if you go to this...
And now it's ready to cut.
But you can also do your 6. And that's going to show you, it's going to sit itself.
Yeah, what's 6? Where are you seeing the number 6 at? Or you just know?
Number 6 right here.
I know, but what up here?
It's not up there.
Okay, you just know it's number 6. Okay.
Yeah, you got to read the book. Okay, so now if you're ready to start, you hit the green button. Let's just talk green, that, and you go. if for some reason you want to stop, you can hit that, it will stop.
Yeah, or the emergency shut off,
Well,
right?
but if you hit here and then you say, okay, just resume, you can hit green and it'll start over
emergency
again.
shut off
This
is
shuts
going to take
all.
it.
You might have to. I don't know.
Okay.
I think you'll have to reload it.
Okay.
Because you want to go green.
Yeah. Okay. Make sure.
I'm gonna try this again.
All right, Ed.
Green.
And then enter. All right. Let's see what it does. Let's see if this cut gets any better than yesterday's. Oh yeah, that's wrong. I think. Yeah, that's wrong. Or no, actually it's not. I'm trying to remember what I'm cutting. Once it goes around, let it go around that, and you can stop that. You can stop it. It's going to do its thing, right? It'll cut off for a second.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's wrong. That bracket's wrong, and I'll show you why once it stops doing its thing. Okay, so what's wrong with that one is, I know, what's wrong with that one is it pierced inside here, and it shouldn't have pierced in there. I don't know why it did that. I don't know why. I mean, where's the, give me the pliers.
I think you need to do your pit on the inside, not the outside.
Well, it did pierce, it did that hole right, and it did that hole right. That's like slag, but it looks like there's another hole right there.
Well, also look.
Yeah, see, there's a hole right, I don't understand why it did that.
Also, did it cut?
It made it worse.
Okay, so that means we'll probably.
Whatever we did made it worse.
So
it looks great on the top. Maybe it's just not hot enough to blow it all the way through.
Turn it back up there.
Yeah, we can leave it. We can leave the cut speed at 35, and we'll just turn the amps back up to 40 and see what that changes. We only need to change one thing at a time.
Right.
We don't need to make multiple changes.
That should be cold, man. You should be able to
Yeah.
touch it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's in my program of where it pierced on that bolt hole, which, I mean, this can be welded up and
Here's
used.
what
But
the issue is. See, this is, come here. I can see this already. On this one, you've got to see it's cutting on the inside because that's no good. There it pierces.
Cuts on the inside.
This one, you've got it starting. See right here. For some reason, let's just back out of this.
No, hold on. Let's go ahead and run the second one because it is right, like you said. They are piercing correctly. I don't know why that one pierced on the inside.
Okay, you wanted to change what?
Let's just change the amps, and let's just go ahead and see how that second bracket cuts real fast. That way because we know that this first one is trashed.
Okay, so you want to start again?
Yeah, and I have the laptop, so I can go change this if I wanted
It
to.
should be cold. I dipped it in the water.
Yeah, so just start again, and we'll see with the changing of the amps what the second one does. That was way cleaner cut. That also pierced wrong. And then my pieces are just a little too close to it. Which, I mean, it's perfect. It didn't waste no material, but it made a mess.
Right on top of each other.
Yeah, no, I had some spacing in there, but I still don't understand why that one, again, it pierced the same thing. It pierced.
Wait, let me show you this. Go back to demo. Let me show you this. Go back to demo. And then let's get this, let's just get this out of the way so you can work with it. So you're not messing up this. Now we got to figure out why you pierced it. Put it down in the water so you can touch it. Let it clean itself off.
like put it in a toilet.
Yeah, you could have a bucket of water on it.
I got a bucket of water. It's called a toilet bowl. No, it didn't pierce it.
Wait a minute, is that just slag?
It's just slag.
Okay, well, let's knock that off. And
Where's the other one? Did it? Oh yeah, it blew through that one. Okay, so look at this.
Look at here. Here's okay.
We're getting what? Look at the cleaner difference between. Okay, so this was 38 amps or 37. This was this was 37, 38. This was 40. Yeah, so the amperage we're getting way better.
So we'll leave it at 40.
Yep.
So we just need to figure out. All I can do is look on here.
But the cuts still aren't like perfect either. They're
What do you mean?
like that one is just angled more in.
Well,
Like it's
I
not
thought
a perfect circle.
Oh.
I think it's just the way it's cutting. I don't know.
All right. So what do you do?
I don't know.
You
You're gonna bust your butt. Let me see.
You're on demo.
Yeah, so I know the G.
All right.
Okay, and then we just rock and roll. Green and enter. All right, watch out so I ain't throwing sparks all over you.
It's gonna start throwing water.
I know it is.
Oh wait a minute, you didn't.
Well, just hit enter one more time.
Input file expects description.
No, I must have not pushed it right. It's gonna make a mess, probably. Maybe we'll get lucky. Yeah, I think I still did it. No, maybe it didn't. Yeah, it is right. To get it out of the demos, though, we hit the G or put it back in there.
Yeah, because if you accidentally hit the
to start cutting.
It'll start cutting, and you don't want it to start cutting.
I don't know where it went.
How bad is that?
That one's near perfect.
Okay, throw it on there.
Yep. So all it needs.
But the holes are not round.
Yeah, they're a little bit out. But for what we need with this one, this will be okay. These will work to get us started. These will work. But yeah, I don't know why.
You have to drill it out. I think we need to look at the. There's something that tells you about if your holes are not right.
So it's doing both of them. Yeah, these holes are. Oh, they're not perfect, but that one's. Yeah, these are like wallered out a little bit. So then to cut it, we're getting out of demo, and then we're just hitting green and enter.
All right.
Why does it? I wonder why it keeps saying that.
Input file. I don't know. There you go. Didn't have no problem.
Enter. It's like it did the same thing. We're having to click it twice to get it to go.
You meant to have a little line
Pliers are over there on the washing machine. Just throw it down there. something to cover it. All right, it's probably just gonna go back right there.
I wonder if we can increase the cutting speed.
Maybe. I got to figure out the orientation too, because see, it would have been lovely to flip that around, you know, versus cutting it like that.
Can you just rope flip it on the computer?
Well, you could probably flip it in here, or we could have. I mean, you shouldn't have to flip it in the computer. I mean, we can still.
We need to have a bucket of water over here.
Go stick it in the toilet bowl. That's what I used to do.
The toilet bowl ain't got enough water.
Oh.
I just want some water over here.
Let's see how that one looks. Is it cool?
Should be.
Okay. So that looks good. I mean, the holes need to be drilled, but that's fine.
Do you want to change the cutting speed, or you think that's pretty good?
I feel like with the slag, I feel like if we change the cutting speed,
it's gonna mess up.
That it's gonna.
Okay, well, just leave it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the cutting speed will change actually. If maybe we could try it. Yeah, I mean, we could just bump it up just a little bit where it's not, you know, where it don't like 100% ruin it. But look, since this bracket is already turned this way and we know that, what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way to that corner, I think. Okay. And that will put it all the way tucked up into that corner.
So you want to change the speed. How do you do that?
Well, hold on. I want to get...
First, you want to get in demo mode so you don't accidentally cut something.
So we'll just manually move it all the way to that corner. So we're having to play with hit limit. Okay, hold on. But look at what it needs. What does it need?
It needs to go...
Where did it run out at? Right there?
X limit, yeah. That's as far as it's going to go. So we need to move it back this way some.
Okay, I went 2 inches the wrong way.
Okay.
Is what we did. Go back to that starting point. Yeah, we went 2 inches in the wrong direction. So go back to that starting point where we started at.
Go back X minus.
So we're just using a tape measure and physically trying to figure out where this thing is at. It's a good table, but it's definitely not like, I think some of the nicer ones auto tell you where the metal's at. So we're just having to figure out where the plasma cutter moves around, and it shows you the frame, this red line right here. That should make it from what the measurement said.
So I see what you're trying to do.
So we need to get it a little bit more that way.
Metal, what it is,
the limit switch. Okay.
Because the limit switch is taking it out because it's too far.
Okay. All right. So yes, you're right. So we'll move the metal, and we also need to figure out exactly what the dimensions of the metal need to be, because I didn't look it up, and I just got these pieces of metal cut at 2x2. Okay. So we should have. I wish I would have measured it when it was over here, but let's move the metal over. What did it look like? 1/4 of an inch or a half? What did you think? I think the measurements are going to be the metal needs to be 1.5 inches off of that. We've got to figure that out. Once you figure that out, yeah, but we can still drag the metal a little bit more. So that's another 1 inch. We can drag the metal that way, and then it should run basically right down that. Yeah. All right, let's cut that. And then this does need. Well, I guess I can go back or something. We just need to watch that when it comes this way, because it wants to get hung up. It needs to really be like, we need to put right here. This is, Dad, we need to zip tie it around this thing if we've got enough cord. This one will hopefully put that bracket all the way in. I will. So all that is right there is just where it's just blowing the slag out. That'll knock right off. That cut right there is the only thing I don't know about. I think that's my setup when I'm programming it. I think maybe I have my lead in too close to it because it cuts smooth. It's just that start. And the piece, I'm curious of, let's see how the piece that we cut out looks. So if you look at this, you see how it pierced right here? So it's piercing and trying to start.
Do the lead in over here.
Yes,
somewhere.
The lead in should have been in a big area. And that's just my mistake. I let the computer auto generate the toolpath. And in that situation, I just need to change the toolpath to make it so that it starts it in there. That's all that is. So I got to remember to change the tool path. All right, so what we're doing is we're cutting some of these plugs for Mike, Uncle Mike, if you follow the channel. These are going to be caps for the end of tubes on a race car. We're using this metal. As you can see, whenever it goes to cool off, the torch cools off, it blows water everywhere. And so if you just slip this metal in there real fast, then it stops that, because we're trying to cut up a bunch of these scraps. He needs like 5 of 3 different sizes, so we got 15 circles to cut. We're taking this time. That one actually, oh, it's sitting on there, probably. You got that magnet? We're taking this time to try to fine tune the way it cuts and to fix it up better. Just drop it over there.
Well, I'll make sure so you can touch it, so it's not hot.
So what we're looking at is the way this cut looks. All right, you can see this side over here, how it looks straight, but that side looks angled. So that one was a lot better, Dad. Most of them actually look pretty straight. When we first started out on these, you see how that's crooked? Okay, how they're parallel of each other. So this side is pointed that way and this side's pointed parallel. The whole cut is leaned like that. So what we've been doing is we're slowly cheating this up until we get where we want to be. That one though, I want to see the cut start to roll. I want to see this side. It's been cutting like this. I want to see, and we're trying to stand it up. All right, we're trying to bring it up like this. I want to see this side start to roll like that. I mean, I think we are really close. Let's bump it up a little bit more though. They do make an attachment for this. That's just the regular. What's that called? The torch piece versus the hand piece. So all we're doing, so that's at 5 inches. So let's go 5 1/8. Bump it. Oh, I can't see. Go up a little bit. Okay, down to 1/16. Just tap it right there. Tighten that down. Yep, that's good. That's 5 1/8. So we just keep bumping it up 1/8 or so. And if you look, what's interesting about this is, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but look how crooked that looks. Actually, it is crooked. It's very crooked. You can see it. This nozzle is literally pointed like that, but all we care about is how the cut is. That's why we're looking at these. We're trying to get the cut where it's not like that. Now to use up this scrap metal, we're just using these. Let's see here. Yeah, we should be able to get another one right here. And to do this, instead of running frame, so there's one option that we showed a minute ago, that the frame, the last brackets we were doing, but this one you can actually push it, and I'll show you when he starts it.
You go in demo mode.
Yeah, definitely in demo mode, and then you do it just like you're going to do a cut. Go ahead. So it says start cut, yes, and then it circles around. Yeah, I'll double check it, and then see, it's going around the actual edge of the part, not the frame. The other way, what it does is it traces out the square that it takes up. Yeah, no, I did that already. So we're just keep playing with it. That one looks like that's gonna be money. Yeah, it's gonna run a tad. I mean, it's just gonna blow the edge out just like it did right there. That's gonna be it on that. Yeah.
So we need to go this way?
No, that's good.
So I think good to go?
Yeah, that's good. You can let me move this out the way.
You gotta get out of demo mode.
Yeah, make sure which.
Demo mode,
yeah, but you.
G. Now you're
in the cut mode, and then you do the exact same buttons, but you're out of demo mode, so it's actually gonna cut this time. And that plate, man, it saves you from having a mess, because if not, what it does is the torch goes back home. So if you were just out here in the middle of the plate, it would not be blowing water nowhere. If you literally come right here and you made a cut out here, because it goes back to where it starts at. Being we're starting off the plate, it's going to go back to off the plate. was wondering also the water might be
Might be what?
messing with the torch a little. Oh, that looks pretty good, dude.
Should
I mean, I'm
be.
seeing the slag. Let's see here. Where did that start at? I can't even tell where that one started. That looks pretty good. What does it look like on this?
Actually, that one does look pretty good.
So we're still, I mean, we're pretty, let's see here, 50% of the cut, if not more, is straight up and down. It's just rolled on this side. One other setting change that we made this morning was we took a speed square, this right here, all right, and we come through here and we lined it up off of the manufacturer, the crack. So you see the crack in the plastic? We took that square, and you can see that we lined that up. Now what would help, because that's going to make sure that it's rolled like this, we're going to get a laser level so that we can cast the line all the way from the tip of the plasma cutter all the way up this. The laser level will get that all the way through a little bit better than just going off of our eyesight. But I know that plasma, you're not going to get it perfect, so you can't expect like perfect. Water jet would be the one to get it perfect, but when we started out, if you look back, I don't even remember when the first one we cut. Some of these are just really sloped.
That's the very first one. You see the slope on this one bad right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really sloped. So that's how we're messing with it. But man, that one looks really good. If we clean the slag off, because the slag kind of messes with your eyes also. If you clean that slag off, that might be it. I think we should roll like that. I don't know if we're going to get any better than that. The torch is definitely crooked. So obviously, when it's coming out crooked. I know my MIG welder is a Harbor Freight MIG welder, and the wire actually comes out of the cup crooked. It's actually knocked to one side a little bit. I don't know what's bent or something, but you can't always just pay attention to what torch you're using. You have to pay attention to exactly what it's doing. So how many is that size? That's plenty of that size. That's 6. Okay, but we need to stop with that size. Let's go ahead and input another size. I'll show how we're doing that. So the cool thing about this table is you can design parts. I'm using Fusion 360, okay? I'm learning as I go, so I don't know a lot. But all of these parts right here are designed on Fusion 360. And you can upload them to a USB and then put them on here. However, this table does have some shapes that are already in it. All these shapes right here. So you can take any of these shapes and change the dimensions, which is what he's about to do now. So we don't need any laptop at all to do it. Mike told me to do some at like 1.5 inches or whatever, which is gonna be 1.5.
Okay, so right here to get this sitting.
What are we doing first off? What measurements? 1.5.
You can't put 1.5 in there because you have to take and divide that, which
because it's only measuring in a half circle.
because it's only, which we know that's going to be 7.5.
Yep,
So you're going,
0.75.
so you're putting 0.75. And down, and our lead in we're going to do 0.2. Is that what that's what I did before?
Is that what you did?
2.
Have we tried that 0.5 lead in?
No, we can't.
I wonder if that would clean up the cut, because that's what the machine automatically sets it at. Let's go back to what the machine sets it at. I want to see how that turns out. Here's what we are cutting at, though, if anybody is wondering, because somebody will ask that. So there's all, if you want a screenshot, there's what we're currently using to run this one. But what I was saying is I like about this table is that I don't have to have the laptop here to do these circles. So we can literally just do these basic shapes on this system right here, whereas a lot of plasma cutters, you've got to have the table, or you got to have the laptop. I'd start all the way down here, and then we'll try to run them all the way across there.
This is going to be 1.5 inches, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than this, but it still should be about the same. I mean, it still should fit. Oh, you got to stop it. Oh, all right. Because the nozzle, it ran completely off. Okay, and now it'll go up. Okay, so that one is because we don't have no metal here. So we might, it's going to want to roll like that. We might not be able to use, let's see here. So go back and do the demo again. The demo should show us where it's starting at. That might also be your lead in.
Yeah, we changed the lead in to...
Which 0.5 is not that much.
Could go that way a little bit. You can see where it's going to start.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to get that cut. See, it should, I mean, that should be... Change that lead in back to 0.2.
Or you want to make it maybe 0.3? Okay.
No, let's go back to 0.2 because I think that's how far it starts off of the cut. Put it back to 0.2. And I think it did pull the cutter. It did pull the cutter. Let me reset that. So being that pulled on the tool, I got to realign this. So that looks really good right there. Tighten this down. Tighten this down. Now I'm going to do equal turns on both sides. And you don't want to bust the thing by over tightening it. But I'm going to do equal turns on both sides so it don't roll. And it still looks pretty good. Alright, so now let's go and get it lined back up. And then this is what the lead in is while he's doing that. If you look, example right here, this is the lead in. So 0.5 is going to be farther off the circle than 0.2. It's been leading in at 0.2, which I'm pretty sure that's why the edge is just a little bit sloppy.
I'll put it back to 0.2.
Yeah. But you got to have enough metal where it touches down. That should hopefully work this time. Just get ready to stop it. It should be good. All right, and so on the last one, I don't remember if I recorded that or not, if I cut the camera off. But when it went, we were over here and we hit cancel. So if you're in the middle of it cutting and it messes up and you hit the red button, that stops it. But then when you resume with the green button and enter, it's going to go all the way back to where you're at. So if you move the torch way over here, when you resume it, it's going to go all the way back or way over there. If you hit the kill switch on the side, we haven't had to hit that yet, but I think that will probably cancel everything out. Not 100% sure.
Check that, see how that comes out.
I want to see that one.
All right, let's move it out of the way then.
You can just manually move it with the arrows. All right, so let's see how that cut.
That's what it looked like.
It's not. It looks pretty good.
Actually, I think it does look.
Yeah, it's still crooked on this side, on this one right here. And I don't know why it's crooked like that. Let's see here. Let's think about this. I think we're good though. I don't think we should mess with it no more, because even, I mean, it's a plasma, so it don't stay perfectly equal. Like this is square right here. This is square right here, and it's square right here, but it leans just a little here. And then from here to here, it leans just a little.
An inch and a half. We got an inch and a half.
Yeah, like perfect.
That's a tiny bit.
The camera. Oh, I'm in 0.5, 0.1. There you go. That's dead on, 1.5 inches. I'm telling you, having that little scrap piece of metal, that's the trick, man, for making a.
What did you do with the magnet?
I put it back here. It's really, we can leave it stuck to this. You gotta move it out of the way. If you just move it this way,
move it that way,
or that way, you could go either way, then we shouldn't have to reset the in and out. Yeah, you're not gonna get better than that. That is amazing. I'm in 0.5 again. Let's change to 1. I'm telling you, how YouTubers film their stuff does matter. Look at that. It still rolls a little bit on that side. You're not going to beat that. I don't think you're improving that. Not without it changing like some settings or something possible. I just don't think.
Check this one out, see if we're good enough.
I don't think there's any room for improvement on that. All right, so Mike needed 5 of 3 different sizes. So we got our 5 right there, and I'm gonna show you real fast how using the table. Let's escape out of this and go to where you.
Oh, you just want to go to.
Oh, shape library.
Shape library. Pick what you want.
Shape library was F1.
With your arrows.
With the arrows.
Get under the one you want.
Try to get this right. All right, so we're gonna go to number 2, the circle.
All right, now it's gonna come up here.
The size.
This number tells you the size you're entering right there. So you want a 1.5625. So we have to take that and divide it by 2.
For inputting, 0.781. That should be all we need. We don't need all them other ones.
Then go step down.
Hit enter, right?
Yep. Go down. Okay, now that's your lead in, lead out. We've been using 0.02, but you put what you want.
Well, we were using 0.02 on everything?
Just 0.2. Just 0.2.
Oh.
0.02.
Okay, so how do you backspace? Oh, you just have to start over. 0. Okay, enter. And then lead out, you're doing it the same thing?
That's what we've been doing.
0.2, enter. Okay.
Okay, F7, okay.
F7 for okay.
That's going to come up with some
Now we're back in demo.
You about a 1.6 is the size.
Yeah, because it's not going to do fractions. So
okay.
Mike gave me fractions. I had to convert them to decimals.
Okay, before we do anything, sit your thing up where you want to make your cut at.
Let's see. So let's look at the table and see where we want to burn up. We really don't have oh, we can go way up there. So I moved it up here. We're going to work on this side. Now, the only thing you got to look out for is your limit switch. So if this thing goes too far that way, it will hit the limit switch and it don't work. It don't want to work. If you hit the limit switch, all you got to do is move your arm up, but also just move your metal up. You can move your metal around on the table to get it within spec.
Yeah. Do it.
All right,
so make sure you're in demo.
Yeah, we're in demo. So then you just do the green, start cut, and now we're just going to watch. Oh,
it went out on limits.
The limit. Okay, exactly what I thought.
We're going to have to move the metal this way.
Yeah, so we're going to hit enter, okay, and then we're going to get it off the limit, and we'll just go ahead and move the metal a lot instead of sitting here playing around with it. It's 3.5. Yep.
Well, it's way off. It's hard to move it on that.
It's 3.5. Check this out again. It's very hard to move it where it's wanting to hang up. You got to pick it up. Check it again. Yep. Check that out again. 3.5. 3.5. Yep. Close enough. So if you get your metal squared up on a table, then once we set our line like this, we won't have to refigure that out. These slates are curved. They're supposed to be curved, just so you know. All right, so now we're going to go back over. Now we should be way off of our limit. But I think the table wants to move backwards. I think I'm learning it wants to move backwards, so we got to start on that. We need to go that way more, Dad? Does that look right? Right there?
Yeah, you can tell me you also make a little cheat sheet if you want.
Yeah, well, so one thing you might notice also I need to point out is ours is mounted wrong. It's supposed to be mounted over here, and we did that because we have a door here and we have a pathway to walk through here, so we angled this up into this corner, but that does make it funky. So we did write down a cheat sheet of which way it moves. I just push the buttons real fast and you can figure out real quick which way you move, but I think if it was turned like this, it would make more sense, whereas we're kind of working backwards.
All right, do a demo.
So we're gonna do that. Yeah, so the table, that's one thing I've got to learn, is the table always wants to move this way. I think that will be all right. No, we can go that way a little bit, actually.
Yeah, I think you get just a notch
Right,
back.
right there, maybe? Right there?
But you got to also remember that.
Yeah, it's going
to touch the middle.
Yeah, it goes down and touch off. Oops. About right there, maybe? And it helps to have two people where you can watch. Yeah, it's going to skate right down the edge. That's how close we were cutting the other side.
Is it getting in this cut part right here?
We can still go more of that. I think we can try to bump it a little bit more that way.
It's just a tiny oops. You should be good to go. All right, you ready to go cut?
Yeah, so we're going to get out of demo mode. We're going to hit the G. And then hope that this doesn't freak out and go into the water.
It does. Just hit the stop.
Yeah. stops, I'll be ready to hit the stop. Nope. No. And that one's returning back to metal, so it shouldn't blow water as bad. Let's see. Yeah, it's not that, well, it's still definitely, yeah. It definitely keeps the mess down to just slip a piece of metal under there. That's a little thick. If I had something thinner, like a real thin piece of metal, that'd be better, so I don't have to worry about accidentally hitting that nozzle. Somebody might point out in the background, too, that you're near all these vehicles and stuff. I own all these vehicles, so they're not customer vehicles. I would never be running this plasma with a customer vehicle sitting right there. I own every single one of these vehicles. Yeah, we got fire extinguishers every freaking where in here. I mean, you're in the slag also, but...
Well, no, it's...
Dead on?
Well,
should be good.
A little more than an inch and a half.
Okay. I can run demo mode again. Oh, yeah, no, I don't even worry about that. You ain't... Yeah, you can't. Dude, that... we got that bad boy dialed in on that cut now.
See, one thing they said about getting it, if you get it sit too close, it's called a blowback. It will fill up your tip.
Oh, the slag, yeah.
Thing. So they said you don't want it really right on there. But
yeah.
Do a sample.
Yeah, because we might run into the limit switch that way now. That's something that we're gonna have to pay attention to.
We'll turn this thing off.
So all he's doing is actually just running. Look at that. Just running the magnet since his rag's already trashed through there and just helping pull some of the shavings out. I did order coolant for it. You should be running coolant in it. We didn't originally order it, but it's not here yet. We've been cutting with it fine, so I definitely recommend adding coolant to it. What else?
One thing I would be, when we first learn it, make sure they got enough water in this.
Yeah.
Because the first time you do it, you can burn a hole in the bottom of your pan.
Yeah, and some people's actually accidentally burned a hole. It didn't mark through it.
No, I
but
checked it.
Yeah, if the water's too low, then you can cut the pan or burn a hole through it. So.
And then you'll be buying another pan.
Yeah, and this is stainless steel, so this is not going to be cheap. I'm not exactly going to sit here right now and try to teach you how to use the table because we're learning as we go. But I figured that it'd be good to put a video out on the Eastwood table, like the very basics of what we're starting out with. A couple little tips that we found. Dad did put the whole table together by himself with no previous experience. Just reading the instructions. The instructions were pretty decent on the table. Well, there was a couple confusions. Yeah, there's a couple confusions on the instructions, but with a little bit of common sense and paying close attention, you can sort through it. Nothing really to cry about.
So, I did contact tech support, and they gave me 9 videos to watch, which really helped out.
Yeah, so he had an issue. He called customer service. Customer service sent us a private YouTube playlist over with another guy that had put stuff together. So if you have issues and you reach out to Eastwood, they will help you. One thing the reason why I went with Eastwood versus I think it's called, was it Lagmire or Lagmire or whatever the other brand is because Lagmire, you buy that table and you have no customer service. There's a form that is online to show help, but what they have been busted doing is after the person's problem's resolved, being it's a negative, it's a problem, that's a negative, that company has actually been caught deleting the post and getting that off the internet because they own the form. It's not a privately owned form, so they control the content that's on the form. They don't want negative problems all over the forum, even though it helps others too much. So that's the reason why I kind of steered clear of them. They have no customer service number to call. You'd have to email them and wait. Whereas Eastwood, you can get them right on the phone. And if their videos they send you over don't help, they will put you in touch with a private technician that will walk you through it. But we had pretty much, I think, we had a lot of issues, I guess, like figuring out learning curves on our ends because we don't know what we're doing. But the table itself had no issues. We had nothing wrong. One of the limiter switches on the up and down, we couldn't get it to move up and down. So Dad went in there and actually touched the limiting switches, and it was like basically stuck in a bind or something from shipping or manufacturing. But once he touched it, it kind of freed up, and then it has had no issues at all. So I would say no issues on the table's part besides user error. I love the table so far. I love having the box where we can do the basic shapes without having to have a laptop involved. I am using the Fusion 360 again. That is the free version. It's a little tricky to get the free version. They don't want you to get it, but I was able to Google search how to get the free Fusion 360. You got to jump through a couple of hoops, but you still can get to the Fusion 360 for free as of right now when this video is put out. I don't know if they'll ever close that off or not. One more thing that people's probably going to ask is what size air compressor. On their website, they will give you recommendations, but I can tell you what we are personally using is I have an 80-gallon compressor, being this is a body shop, and that thing just works amazing for our needs. We have all the dryers for inline, so there's no oil and no water, no contaminations in our lines. So you'll need to make sure that you have enough of air compressor to run this using their recommendations on their website. So a lot of people are going to ask, what did this unit cost? Now that's going to vary upon what sale they're doing at that time and stuff like that. Originally when I found this unit, I think it was like $27.50, I think was like the total it was going to be. I slept on it. I didn't get it done because we were actually submitting our tax exempt form. So if you own a business or own a company, you can reach out to Eastwood through email. If you Google tax exempt Eastwood tools, there is a place where you can submit your form, and you will be able to purchase this with paying no taxes as we were. Unfortunately, when I went to purchase it, that sale was no longer going on, and so I think the total ended up being like $3,000 is what I ended up paying. My situation was that I wanted to buy this, but I wanted to put this on a credit card and pay no interest. As a lot of people out there, I don't want to pay anything out of pocket for this plasma table at all. I don't want to give any of my hard-earned money to this plasma table. I don't like paying for things out of my pocket if you don't have to. What I mean by that is plasma table is a moneymaker, okay? So you have to front the $3,000, which is what I ended up paying working a little bit with them. But if you can make money off the plasma table, then hopefully you'll make $3,000 within the amount of time it takes to pay it off, and you actually won't be out of pocket nothing, and you'll get a free plasma table exchanging your work for designing brackets and selling brackets to people on eBay or whatever the case may be. So if you're going to do this, what I like to do is I like to go to Credit Karma. When I'm going to make a purchase like this is no plug or nothing, I literally go find a brand new credit card. The more credit cards you have, if you manage them responsibly, the lower your credit card debt is, because the larger your credit line is. That we're not going to get into credit stuff. But I signed up for a new credit card that had a $3,000 limit on it, but the deal was if you spend $1,500 within like the first 6 months, they give you $220 some or $230 worth of points, okay? So I called Eastwood and I was like, hey, this thing with shipping and everything, I think it was like 31 and some change. I was like, I can't make that happen. I explained the situation with the taxes. I was like, I just signed up for a credit card. The limit is $3,000. If we can make this happen today off of the old sale price and stuff, I was like, then I'll give you the card numbers and we can rock and roll. I was like, I don't want to exceed $3,000. I want to put this on this card so I get the $200 off. That's not their problem necessarily, but the guy was extremely nice, worked with me. He was able to punch in some stuff and was able to get us free shipping, even though free shipping normally does not qualify for large purchases. So with the free shipping, I think it was, or maybe he discounted it enough to cover the free shipping. I can't remember exact details. Anyway, we come out to like $2,998. There was like barely a $2 available credit line on that credit card when we did it. I immediately started making little $50 payments like the first week, $100, just a couple to throw a little bit out of my pocket, hoping to recoup later. And then as soon as the points hit, I got my $200 back on the credit card, and I went ahead and threw the $200 on it. And now we're designing brackets. Hopefully we'll be able to get these things up on eBay, and hopefully we'll be able to sell some of these that I've designed. Every bracket that I design, I'm going to photograph and list on eBay. And then if somebody orders them, I will cut them with my plasma table and mail them out. So that is basically the cost of it. I know some people wondering about that and how I handle the financial situation of purchasing a plasma table. Now, to run the plasma table, it will run off of 120 volts as listed on their website. We do run ours off of 220 volts at the shop. And then we do have the 80-gallon air compressor with ours. The wire to run, I think it was 25 feet of wire I needed to get off my breaker panel. You're going to be doing this at your house, and you're going to have the 220 volt plug. You need that. That's going to be the same plug as your dryer. Unless your dryer's in your garage, you're going to have a dryer plug somewhere near the plasma table, okay? Think about the distance of where you put the plasma table at in relation to a 220 volt plug, because the cord is very expensive. So I think to get like 25 feet, I think it was, local at Lowe's Home Improvement, big box store here, I think it was gonna be like $100. And when Dad was wiring it, Dad wired up the main cord to plug that thing in off of the dryer plug at the shop. I told him, no, let's check eBay. If you shop eBay, I think it's an SO cord it's called, or SOW cord. You want the heavy duty gauge. Look on Eastwood's website for the specs. I was able to get a whole 25-foot roll of it for like $50 off of eBay. What this was a wholesaler. It was just rolled up. I'm sure they had it left over off of a job or left over off of an order or something. It was brand new and shipped right to my door, and we got it for literally half the cost of what you would have paid at the big box stores. Where do I buy my metal at? So if you're going to be doing a plasma table, you also have to know where you're going to buy your metal at. You need to go ahead and plan that out, because you are going to need 2x2 sheets, whether it's 1/8, 3/16, or 1/4 inch steel. Stuff's heavy, especially 1/4 inch steel. Shipping is going to absolutely kill you. So you probably should shop around and figure that out. I'm not sure if the big box stores near you sell 2x2 sheets. You can do 1x1 or whatever you can fit on your table you get your hands on. For us, we have a local supplier of steel that's at wholesale. I paid, I think, $45 for a 2x2 sheet of 1/4 inch steel. And for 3/16 2x2, I'm right now paying around $33. So it would normally be cheaper, even though that's pretty cheap. You'll probably pay double or triple that at a big box store, but you do need to plan where you're going to get your metal from. We went into this with zero experience. I want to make that very clear. I've never owned a plasma table. I've never worked for anybody with a plasma table. I've never touched a plasma table. I took CAD when I was in high school years ago. I have no experience on Fusion 360, nothing. I was able to pick up Fusion 360 off of some YouTube videos pretty relatively quickly. If you are just slightly computer literate, if you know about computers just a little bit, you'll be perfectly fine with the Fusion 360. The plasma table itself, Dad was able to put the plasma table, as I said, together with zero experience. He knew what a plasma table was, but he's never been around one. He comes from an electric background, definitely not a fabrication background. And he was able to figure that thing out, and probably putting it together and figuring it out, I'd have to ask him how many hours he has in it, because he did clock hours on it, but I want to say it's like 10 hours or less. Probably 10 or less. And that includes from cutting the cardboard boxes open to the first cut. That's what I would park that at. So this is definitely something that you could knock out on a Saturday and a Sunday, on your weekend if you wanted to, a couple hours every day, or you could easily do it every single night. But you should probably go ahead, if you're looking into the plasma table and you want to design your own brackets, download the Fusion 360, start familiarizing yourself with how to make the brackets. When you go to do your setup on Fusion 360 and your programming, you will need to know certain specs of your table. But that's all pretty generic. You can find it out there. Again, no experience. And within the first week of this table being plugged in with electricity to it, we were successfully cutting custom brackets that we designed. Hopefully this video gives you the encouragement to go out and purchase your plasma table. Hopefully it will give you a couple of ideas financially how to afford your plasma table. The credit card that I did get, I forgot to mention, it did have 0 interest for the first year. So that's the good thing about getting a credit card, that you get cash back on and you get interest free for a year. You take $3,000, divide that by 12 months in a year, and that's what your payments will be pretty much. But you should be working your plasma table with friends or eBay or little stuff, so that you're making more every single month than the minimum payment, and it's nothing out of your pocket. Do me a favor, hit the like button, that's all I ask. And hopefully you stick around, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks, y'all.